pulling me under. Tell me all the little fears you hide. I'll keep every fragile piece inside. If the world forgets your name one night, I'll repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. You're my type of
What's going on, guys? We are back again for another quick streaming session. I just want to go over some Lotto Fridays. Let's go over today's action, right? Last time we spoke was Tuesday night, and we're seeing that huge gap down, and we're like, what was going to happen from there? To be honest, it has been a really good week. Just playing calls and knowing that we're just going to get the move right back up, and we have. And so here we are. Pretty awesome stuff. Rio Cap team has been banking with me. We've been banking. And how we've been banking is we look for moves like this. Tesla was one of them. We banked off Tesla, banked off IWM today. And I'm going to get into, how we find these kind of setups and how we, bank off them. Now, this Tesla one midday, this one was honestly pretty easy. And the reason why that was pretty easy was because of a few things, right? A few things being, I was waiting to see if we would end up breaking out of, this 439, 436 level, right? This zone. We opened up, we hit it yesterday, and you can see it right there. So we hit it yesterday. Notice how we rejected that in the close, perfectly pushed out of that zone right down here. And of course, I didn't play this, but, I keep note of it. I look at my watch list. I see that we blasted through and went to zone there. Notice overnight we pushed up into this zone, opened up under it, and just kind of like dipped a little bit, but then start pushing straight into it. And as we're kind of grinding through it midday, that's where I was keeping an eye on it. I was trying to look for another play. We already banked off IWN at open. And so this was the perfect recipe as it starts getting to that breakout level at 439.85 right there, that top of the level. That's when that news drops about robo taxis, going live in Austin, and Elon tweeted it out. So of course, this is what sparked it and pushed it heavily. And we can get on the 15 real quick, so you can see that right there. This is exactly what I caught as the move up right there started going. It was kind of tough to get filled on the 450s. I was kind of chasing it for a second, but I got filled. To like 250, a little less. Added a few, and then it pushed up to my next level. 250 a contract, 230 a contract, and then it pushed up to 450. So those contracts went in the money, and they pushed to like 350 plus. So over $100 got added onto the contract after my alert. Over 100 like 20, 130. They closed at 365. So this is over $115 a contract. If you just held in the close, they're now in the money after hours here, as it's, sitting at 450. So pretty good move. But, this is what we look for right here is, the blast out of a zone, Regal Cap zone. And, that was mainly the criteria, all we're looking for. So tomorrow going into, a Lotto Friday. Yes, Tesla is on the list here, and I just tweeted it out for you guys as well. The list, Tesla's one of them. I'm watching this. We are flagging here above the 450 level. It's really 449.69. This blue level right here. As long as we open up or stay above this level right here, calls are going to work. Likely we get a blast to 454, 460. This is a big zone that we've been playing, back and forth. It's a huge zone. You can see we got to it last time on the 12th. rejected out. Last time we were here, before that on the 5th, and then before that, we dipped into it 1231. Again, breaking above the zone is going to end up squeezing a 470. We have that gap right there, but it's probably going to be next week stuff. I'm just looking for a move to 454, 460 area, this zone right up here. So we will see kind of what happens there. I like that, right? Anyways, IWM was one of the first ones, the first things we banked on at open. Yes, this did gap up. This gapped up into new all-time highs, and this is the candle, 2 candles, right, that we played hourly, but mainly the first, that first right there, beautiful. I mean, you can see that right there, just kind of the hourly right there on that candle. These hourlies did perfect. Even that first 15 was really what we're looking for. Opened 269, we slammed calls, ran to 271 right there. Beautiful push. Our next level up was 272, and we pretty much hit that, hit a high right there, and then ended up going almost there for the high of day. But again, those calls went 50, 60, 70%. Regardless, I wasn't hanging on to them. Got the win at about like 40%, called it there and moved on. And that's because, I saw Q and SPY right at open, probably go for that gap. And to be honest, kind of looking at it right now, I didn't think it would be kind of this clean of a move that they would fill the gap. I thought they would fight it a little bit, and they did fight it a little bit. But they got the move. I mean, from 621 all the way down to 618, that's still, two $3 move right there, and puts definitely moved. I saw that. I just didn't want them to hit it into this demand and then push us right back up. And then once it pushed us back up, them go higher and us only be out just playing puts, right? I wanted us to ideally kind of wait to see if we can get that scoop for the calls. But again, Q kind of just stayed in place there, and I'm watching this for tomorrow above that 621 level. 621.75 should magnet up to 623, 624. I fully expect that. We don't have news or anything, but this should move us. Actually, I think we might have news. Hold on. Let me look at that real quick. The news. Let's see. News. They are. It is PMI news. 15 minutes after market open. That's just going to push us in a direction that's not really going to do anything for us. So keep an eye on that. You really want to be selling the PMI news and not really kind of buying into it. So keep an eye on that as well. But, not too bad there. We will see. But Q really not my, I would say, upside favorite. I think downside, if we end up losing maybe 617 and we kind of just lose this demand, even though we're defending this really well, wicking very well here, just in case we do lose it, we should come back down all the way to 611, 610. I'll be watching just in case for that as the downside game plans. Also, NVIDIA on the downside game plans. It's just showing a little bit of weakness, and I see some flow hitting it. I think if we end up kind of coming down this demand and losing that 182.97, we'll just drop back into this area. This area they fought hard to get out of, so sellers will try and push it right back in. Again, it's not a super banger short, but I'm looking, it could definitely work. It's not a big demand here to hold us. So, little flag action. We'll see. I am watching SPY for the most part on the upside here. We still have a little bit of this gap left up here at 691 area. So it should shoot us to that 691, 692. Again, we're almost right back to all-time highs. So stop getting so bearish, guys. As we're kind of, gapping down, that's what I was saying kind of to the team. We have a lot of support down here. So let's see what happens. And the support kicked in for SPY and QQQ. And if you look at, what we're aiming for Friday, that last piece of the gap is the gap down into Tuesday. We literally in the last few days have just played the gap or the move back up. We have not gone lower. We haven't, no selling, no real anything other than just pushing back up. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. And, I don't mind it at all, but that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the explosive play. We have big tech earnings next week. I would expect, SPY to eat this gap, and, I'll take my wins, sit back, and, no need to swing or do anything crazy. Just get our wins for Friday and do our thing. And that's what we're looking for. So nice little flag pattern here for SPY, and I'm willing and I'm ready to capitalize off that. AMD yesterday was a monster. We caught that right at open, and calls just ran like our calls went put on like $500-600 a contract after my alert. And I did this live. It was absolutely crazy. If you want my trades, wap.com/real capital. Stop playing, guys. Lock in for the new year. Sign up. Get in there. Today's first trading with IWM, made over 1,500, 1,400, whatever it was. And it was like 1,600. That pays for a yearly membership easy. Like if you just lock in with us on these plays, again, we look for these plays. We banking on it. We banked off IWM Q calls yesterday and AMD calls. Massive banger plays. These past few plays have been all over 100 to like 500%. It's absolutely crazy. And again, I'm liking AMD here. If we hold this channel going into next week and just kind of push up, I'm not going to be looking for this tomorrow. It's not on the watch list. I'm not looking for it at all. I'm just keeping an eye on it, that we did bank on it yesterday. Next move, again, IWM, maybe some continuation. I do like this. It closed new all-time highs, made new all-time highs. So let's see. It made a new supply zone too. So let's see if we kind of run it up a little bit more. That 271.60 break right up here. If we do a little bit of scoop like this, where we kind of push up and then break and then go higher, then you already know I'm going to be slamming calls and riding that into new highs. So keep an eye on that. That will pay, guys. We've been banking on this all week, making new highs. Small caps are pushing. I'm loving it. So keep an eye on that. And the final name on the watch list is Amazon. Loving Amazon here. Flagging, huge gap that hasn't filled yet on the move back up. It just needs to get through this 235 zone. It's at 235.53 after hours right now. So we're literally right at the breakout here. They tried to fake us out at the top here. I was watching this midday. We wicked it, but nothing really happened. I had the team kind of watching it. They're like, we still looking for those calls. And I was like, yeah, I'm waiting, and we're going to get that move tomorrow. So I think my number one pick for tomorrow is going to be Amazon for the ride into 238 plus, from 235 to 238, $3 move on some lottos. We're going to bank. And I'm either going to go to 237s are dirt cheap right now. I'm probably going to go to 237s, knowing those should go in the money at the money. And we should bank on those. If not, I will be looking at next week calls as a safer kind of bet. They're a little bit juice. I might go the 240s, knowing those should go almost in the money at the money. Maybe the 242s, I don't know, but 240s, I'm gonna kind of keep it as close as I can. We should run to the next zone up, that 240, so those should move. So this should be an explosion tomorrow. Hopefully they don't eat some of this after hours. We're already at 235.66 now, or right at that breakout level. So hopefully they're not going to gap this up or eat any of it. I hope they really kind of just hold it up where they're at right now and get that explosion, and we get that move that we're always looking for and banking on crazy. So like I said, guys, if you want my trades, wild.com/real capital, get in here, win with us. We're killing it. Off to an amazing week, ready to end it. Short week, and next week's going to be earnings. So we're ready for that, and we're ready to absolutely kill it on that. So be ready. I like this kind of just downtrend breakout for Amazon a little bit here. Just this is a good look, and I'm ready to bank on this tomorrow. My number one, I'm watching SPY's right there next to it. I know I can bank off that above that 690 level. Eat the rest of the gap at 691 plus, run to 692, make our money, and that's that. So I'll be prepared and ready to go on that as well. Watch list is tweeted out, so show some love on that. Retweet, like it, show some love. Retweet the stream, show some love. Yeah, and I just wanted to get y'all ready for Lotto Friday and end the week strong, guys. That's what I want. I want y'all to be banking with me. Yeah, but today was really good. I saw a couple other good setups. I think the hardest part was, us kind of gapping up. I didn't expect SpyQ to gap up $5 and move up like that. I knew we'd break higher, but we gapped up and we had gaps above and below for SpyQ at open, and that was the really tricky. That was super tricky. So that was one thing I was like, they're probably gonna rip this up and then pull it down. So they did exactly that. Beautiful move on Meta today. I mean, absolute banger out of this demand. You can see it right there. Supply turning demand. So, again, these are the moves that we're looking for. Of course, we can't catch them all, but when we catch them, obviously we're banking heavily. So this was a really good move. 4 hour, 1 hour, really good move. And this is just Meta, staying in range. Is nothing too crazy either, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, absolutely crazy. QCOM getting slaughtered, absolutely still getting slaughtered down from those highs at 180 just a few weeks ago, about a week and a half, and it's just been pulling down since. I haven't even been updating the charts or the zones colors. It's been gap down and dumping crazy. So it pretty much pulled an AMD where AMD sold off just absolutely like $30, right? 2 weeks ago, it sold off heavily. You can see that from 234 ish all the way down to 200. So 34, and then it just bounced at the 200 level and pushed all the way to new highs. Like absolutely crazy. Like you can't even doesn't even make sense why I would do that, but pretty cool stuff in the channel now. Showing a little bit of weakness now as it's cooling off. So I am not looking to press that. We had our fun with that yesterday. Massive move. Those calls, I'm telling you, went 600, 700%. I'm on live just calling it out. We slammed it. We made our money. I sold and I'm sitting back like, oh my God, this thing is still rocketing, moving, going. And I cannot believe it, but it was awesome, to be able to, coach members into it and, bank off it and all that. Again, pretty awesome stuff. So pretty cool stuff. I'm ready. We're just slowly kind of magnet up, and I would assume they're just going to magnet this up to, where we sold off from on Tuesday, and then literally just hold it in place. And just from there, that's when we're going to start earnings and stuff. So, and that's next week. So I don't expect too much, for tomorrow. I think they're going to push it up and then probably kind of keep us in range, but no like major breakout or anything like that, because we have a big week next week with earnings, and market is going to be forward kind of anticipating that or waiting on that. So they're going to be, looking for that. And that's the bigger thing, the bigger thing. So those are the catalysts that are going to be moving us for next week. So, ready to go, ready to kill it. Let's end this week strong. Let's not do anything crazy. Let's protect our capital. We had a really good week, up big. And that's it. We're going to sit back and then get ready for next week. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to freeze here in the South. It's supposed to freeze this weekend. It's about to get crazy, snow everywhere, all that, whatever. So this weekend I'm going to be locked in, charting and, getting ready for the big week ahead. So, I never get tired of this, never get tired of making money, clearing money, making 1,000 to 2,000 a day for myself is just easy. It's a dream. It's amazing. And I love trading. I love doing this. I love being able to coach you guys and help you guys to make anywhere from 500 to 2K a day with me, more, less, whatever. But, I love being able to help out. And, it all starts with you. It all starts with, where your dedication is, how much are you willing to kind of understand what's going on and show up every single day, in the market and understand what's going on. Right. I got lifetime members that, take a break and then come back and, even first day back, like today, making 50, 60, 70% of their portfolio because they're just not scared. Like they've been with me for so long. They're not scared. They come in with the money and then they, not scared to run it up. And they know my first play always bangs. They know, they have trust in me and it works. So it's awesome. So again, it's all about the dedication and, how much time you're supposed to, you want to put into this craft, because that's what it is. It's a craft. It's being able to, catch those moves when it's time. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you have your alerts on? Do you have chart alerts on? Do you have things that are helping you as far as understanding where you are and what you're looking for? Are you locked in with real cap game plans? Are you showing up to, the stream sessions and things like that? Are you prepared? Because I promise you, if you're showing up prepared and I'm telling you, hey, look, I'm going for Amazon tomorrow, this is already above our breakout level, above this 235.69 level. This thing is going to rocket to 238. I hope they don't gap it up, but they're probably going to fill this gap tomorrow. And with lottos, oof, we going to bank. and you're gonna bank because I'm gonna go out there and do it if the setup is still very much valid, as long as we don't gap up to 238. Any dips I would slam, it's gonna be valid. We're gonna bank, and you'll be able to bank with me. Just being prepared, just being able to see the setup on my screen right here and be like, all right, I see it. It looks good. This thing is squeezing, and this is looking really good. It's already at our breakout level. Like this is looking really good for us. So, this is my number one pick. And then of course, if not, and that one's somehow invalidated as if it like the play happened, we got SPY, above 690.83 running and eating the rest of the gap to 692. This is good. I like this. So let's do what we got to do, guys. Let's finish this week strong. We've been killing it all week. Each play, I'm telling you, no losses. Each play this week has been going over 100, 200, 300%. It's crazy. And that's by not even by accident, but I mean by just sticking to our game plans and just sticking to our setups, and then they just happening to turn into an extreme banger. So they're going to come. Those bangers come, and you never know which one that's going to be. You just have to be prepared. And when you recognize it, you're like, all right, I'm already up 30%. I'm already up 50%. Hold on. Let's see. This is working exactly the way we thought it would. No reason to trim right now. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm up 100%. All right, let me put stops above buy at like 50%. Let's just see what happens. And then, oh God, it never hit my stop yet. I still rock. I'm up 200% now. I'm up 300%. All right, let me move my stop at 150% now. Let me just have a trailing stop now and see how far this can go. And then, all right, stop me out at 200%. All right, this is still going. It's up 600%. I can't believe this. So you got to be prepared in that sense of, just kind of maybe having trailing stop, maybe recognizing that this play is working like crazy and you don't need to, maybe sell right away, or maybe you can just put stops by. You can just kind of manage it, or that, all right, we're kind of ranging here. We're getting the move we're looking for. We're hitting our targets. Let me just sell most and maybe put stops by. Let me just, so there's a difference there, being greedy and like, I would say the main difference is your play hitting your target and then your play blasting through your target. That's the main difference. Is it hitting your target and then not really going higher and you're at top dollar here? All right, then maybe I'm going to trim half or most and put stops and buy for rest. Or is the second option where, all right, we're about to hit our target, blasted through, and you're like, oh my God. At this point, all right, should I, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens, right? Let it breathe a little bit. It's working completely and we're banking on it. Let's just see what happens, right? Let me put my stops maybe at my target to see if it keeps going. And if not, then I'm still getting out at my target, So there's different ways you can really go about things. And so, be a little creative with it. That's what I say. Be a little creative with it. And it doesn't hurt taking the money. It doesn't hurt being consistent. It doesn't hurt taking 40, 50%. It doesn't hurt taking 30%. None of that hurts as long as you're consistent. And that's the one thing I pride myself on, is just being consistent, not getting the losers, right? Sometimes these plays do move fast. Sometimes they move slow. But I guarantee you, if you get into them with me, you're going to win. So that's kind of the idea. If you miss one, then it's okay. You don't need to chase. Just know that I'm going to, there's going to be another play and we're going to catch it and you'll catch it with me and we'll bank. Don't worry. There's always going to be something, So as long as you stick to your levels and understand, where we're at in the market, you'll be all right. Guarantee that. So yeah, get my trades, guys. If you want to learn more about RioCap, riocap.com, go check it out. Let me know if y'all have any questions. DM me if y'all thinking about, signing up or any questions like that. DM me if y'all looking to sign up for a one-on-one mentor session this weekend. I'm going to be locked in. It's going to snow. It's going to be freezing this weekend. I'm going to be locked in. So I got time. Let me know if you want to sign up for a one-on-one mentor session. It's supposed to freeze this weekend. So I'm locked in, and there's nothing more I want to do than learn and help you and, go over this stuff, because I'm obsessed with this. So let's see what's happening. Let's see. It's supposed to freeze this weekend, like I said, and I'm going to be staying warm. Yeah, it's supposed to be, dude. It's supposed to get bad. Apparently, everyone at the grocery store right now is buying out buying out all the food and toilet paper and all that shit. I'm just like, that's absurd, right? Because it's only gonna last a few days, unless you're just like completely down bad on groceries. Like now, yeah, right? Because I was like, damn, I am running out of groceries. Like, I don't want to be at the grocery store and everyone's panicking. And I'm just like, guys, I'm not here because I'm panicking. I just generally ran out of groceries, and I just so happened, so funny. Yeah, so I'm gonna be locked in the house this weekend. Let's get a one-on-one mentor session, baby. Yeah, so yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready. I'm ready. Really good week. Really good week. We killed it this week. We knew. I think that was the craziest part. It was just we knew that this gap down was going to get a back up, and I was telling this to the team on Tuesday. Even though there wasn't that many good plays on Tuesday, I was like, keep it small, and don't be scared of the upside when it comes. Do not be scared of the upside. Right now, yes, on this day, keep it small, but tomorrow, right? If we see that upside tomorrow, be ready, right? And we saw that upside, right? We banked off Q calls yesterday. We banked off IWM. We banked off AMD major Q calls. Like, I mean, these Q calls that we were in, like, went from like a low to like 40s all the way to 300. Like, I absolutely incredible stuff. And then we gapped up, and we knew that it was going to be a little touch and go today. We knew that puts could work at some point for that gap fill, and then after that, no puts worked after that. So those went over 100%. I watched those for sure. So I gave the option to members. Either you can follow me at Open with IWM, make some money, or you can go QQ or SPY puts. Just be careful when they fill the gap, because once they did, you can see right there on SPY, you're not getting that low. They wicked it to that 687 level and pushed it all the way to highs. And that's what I was expecting. They're going to hold that low and then push it all the way back to highs. Again, you would have got a better move slamming the dip and selling into the high, because it was a bigger move. Not only that, but just in case this ended up kept going or it kept going and, pushing, you would have been well primed into it. But of course, I'm not taking away from puts at Open. Yes, those definitely could have worked. And I was heavily contemplating them. We got that push up on SPY Q, and I was, we slapped this supply, Regal Cap supply right here. SPY wicked it. You can see right there where you should have entered puts. Got that rejection all the way down to 686. Again, in a perfect world, you would have got, a $3, $4, $5 move right there. Absolutely. Knowing me, I would not have, because we had this gap up here that we were filling it on the move up. So this was the tough part. We had gaps above, which we still have this gap open. We filled most of it on that wick up, but we had gaps below too as well. And this was kind of the bigger, closer one. And so that's why I was like, this is going to be tough, because I know they're going to wick it. But sometimes I've seen them push up and they don't wick it. They fill the whole gap and then they don't come down. So I was like, man, this is a tough one. But once it wicked and started pushing down to about right here, and I saw that we ended up, going red on this candle and start pushing down. Once we ended up cracking, this low right here at 688.50, I knew puts could probably work for that slice into, 687. So even if you, and that was kind of the thing. If you waited for the confirmation, the actual confirmation of breaking that pre-market low, that pre-market low was 688.46. This is how much how much rest of the move we had down. So 687.03. So you literally had $1.50. How much that ran on puts? Probably 50%, maybe 70% if you got lucky, if you're, really selling into that move. Yeah, bottom line, you would have won. Would you have sold at that level perfectly? Probably not. Would you have saw that the next one opened up and then start aggressively pushing up? And at this point, this green candle erased that whole gap move. This whole green candle was the gap fill from confirmation down. pick and choose your battles, and then calls would have kept running from there. So pick and choose your battles. I chose not to go with the downside, even though I love gap fills and I always size heavy and bank on them. I chose not to. I chose to stay patient. I chose to win off IWM, at open, and then of course we got that push higher. Those calls went 60, 70%. And then we got, the massive Tesla move, beautiful push out of the zone here. Tesla news rocketed us that up, and it was a banger. And it was crazy because even if you entered after me at any point, waited for any dip, each of those contracts of 350s went back to entry, pushed right back to highs, went back to entry, pushed right back to highs. Did it like 3 or 4 times. So you could have made money on those contracts 3 or 4 times as long as you looked for the dip and didn't buy the high. Regardless, even if you bought the high, you would close higher on those contracts. I sold like 355, 350, got filled 250, 230 area. So, put on $100 a contract. That's good enough for me. Banger moves, banger moves. So we got the Lotto Friday watch list ready to go. I tweeted it out to you guys. So, let me know what's going on. DM me if y'all have any questions. Let me know if y'all need my trades or anything like that. WAP.com/Regal Capital. Go check out regalcap.com. At the very bottom of the page of regalcap.com, you can sign up for a one-on-one, like free, just kind of like consultation with me. I wouldn't even say that, just, a quick little meeting. If you have any questions about Regal Cap or any questions about trading in general, let me know. I'm here for you. Again, it's supposed to freeze this weekend. I'm going to be locked indoors this weekend. Locked in on the charts, locked in on watching movies. UFC is back. Oh my God, UFC is back. Paramount, new deal with UFC. They closed that huge deal. So Paramount, UFC, first card back. It's a stacked card. I cannot wait for that. I am locked in this weekend, and I'm excited. Sometimes there's nothing more than I love than being locked in on the charts over the weekend, watching some UFC, just chilling with my girl, doing less, just chilling, relaxing after maybe a little bit of a stressful week, maybe some goals I'm trying to accomplish right now that I'm just like really honed in on. I got, some phone calls and some other stuff. I'm at the very beginning at, trying to get this next real estate deal in. So, I got to be talking to people. I got to be looking at properties and stuff like that. I got to be searching, doing my due diligence, and stuff like that. So again, nothing more I love than doing that right now. And, that's just January stuff right now, 2026. This is what you have to do. This is what you have to do to have your year, looking good going into 2026. So, in order for your June, July, or your May, June, July to look good, you got to be locked in January. You got to be locked in February. You got to be locked in March. So I'm ready. I got to earn that vacation, that next vacation. You can't just take a vacation because you got the money for it, right? Of course I got the money for it, but I ain't earned it yet. I have not earned it yet. I got to go through the ringer. I got to mark off some of these goals for myself. I got to trade my ass off. I got to, work these real estate deals. I got to go crazy. So, just got to put the pedal to the metal. I got to get in shape, right? I'm already in shape, but I got to get more in shape. I got to hit that gym. I got to earn it. When it's a new year, we all start from zero. Like the slate is clean. Doesn't matter what we did last year, right? We're all in a fresh new year. We're all fresh with our goals, fresh with, running it up. And so that's the thing, right? Everyone's year to date resets and we all got to run it up. And so I think of it like that on all terms, even with gym, even with eating right, even with sleep, even with, just healthy living and trading and real estate and all that. It's a brand new year today, and so let's run it up. We're 2 weeks, 3 weeks into January right now. Again, fresh new year today, and we got to make it good. So, and it starts by putting in that work. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. That's where we're at. Anyways, all right. Appreciate y'all showing up, 135 plus of y'all, and then of course, shout out to the Twitch people and if any YouTube people showed up, appreciate y'all showing up. We got to watch this. We got to give you a truck for shit like this. Yeah, I know. I need to get back into the truck. I know you remember my Dodge. Oh, I missed that thing. Oh. Had a murdered out Dodge Ram back in from 2012 to 2018. I sold it in like 2018. It hit like 150,000 miles, and I was like, all right, time for me to sell the top on this thing, right? I think I got it with like 40K miles. Been through hell and back on that thing. Loved it. Loved that truck. Murdered out a new body style. Oh, man, I love that truck. Dodge Ram, 5.7 V8. Loved that thing. And yeah, a lot of hot boxing in that truck. A lot of partying in that truck. It's all my college days, all that. A lot of partying in that truck. A lot of so good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I need to get back in the truck game. That's next. That is next for sure. Tired of driving cars now. I don't want luxury no more. I need to get back in the truck game. I don't care about none of that. Trucks are luxury. Forget that. Trucks are luxury. I love it. I love it. So game plans. Like I said, tomorrow we are, and I really hope they don't do this with Amazon, but I'm eyeing Amazon the hardest here. Depending on where we kind of open up is what contracts I'm going to go for. If we're just kind of right here at the breakout, I'll go lottos. If we're kind of like midpoint maybe, and we see a little bit of dip, then I'll probably slam next week's just to play a little bit safer. I don't know. But I do like SPY as well as the second backup. If we end up breaking the supply zone, pretty much today's highs, and we just run it up to 692 zone to zone. Easy stuff right there. Easy stuff. And of course, Tesla Fridays, we don't ever shy away from Tesla Fridays. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's looking pretty good. See if we can get a rocket into 454 or 460. We caught it last Friday, didn't we? Last Friday. Yeah, we did on this massive push up. That's the thing, guys. That's the thing. We caught this last Friday at open on this push up right here. Last Friday, we caught this, banked on it. Does this not look familiar? Oh, right. It's the same exact zone, the same exact play, the same exact area that we played today. Easy, right? We hit a high around 447. This one perfectly hit our 447, 448 level. This one almost hit our 447. We played the 447 lottos. This time we played the 450s. Really good move. Again, this is why you need to have your zones. If I'm talking to RealCap members, this is why you need to have your zones. Anytime I share a chart, and don't be scared in chat in the members only, be like, hey, share your chart. Hey, share your chart for Tesla. Hey, share your chart for, NVIDIA, IW, and QQ. I know I post a lot of the high conviction, so I know you guys get my charts, but, if I haven't maybe updated something or we haven't touched something in a week or two, and you're like, hey, let me get some levels on that, no problem. I'll drop it in chat for you guys all day. So again, these zones don't change. The zones don't change. The levels don't change. We're playing it like clockwork, up and down, right? We know if we lose this zone, puts could work. We know if we hold and keep pushing, calls are going to work. And so that's it. It's the same thing. The premise is the same with SPY and QQ, right? The zones don't change. Notice how we rejected this 690 today. We knew sellers were there. When was the last time we were there? Oh, it wasn't that long ago, right? It was, before we sold off there, right? This was a zone that held because we're above it. Demand held, buyers held it, but then we gapped under it, acting as a supply now. So we're going to be watching that for tomorrow to see if we can break above it. If we don't and we come back into range, then I got no problem playing puts, knowing we will come back into range because next week is going to be earnings and stuff like that. So if anything, remember this: sometimes the market doesn't break out on that Friday because we have catalysts the next week, and so it likes to just stay in range. And so what's more in range than us eating that gap at the top here, which was the sell-off from Tuesday, and then us kind of just pulling back down after that? Like, what's more in range from that? They literally kept us in range. If you look at the weekly candle, it's probably like a nothing candle, like squished candle. And you can't even see the weekly candle. You can't even see it because we're so squished right now. Because we didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything, right? We gapped down on Tuesday, and now we're just pushing it right back up, which is, absolutely crazy. So it's really not doing anything, or starting low and pushing up. I get it, but, whatever. More importantly, really not doing anything because we're just trying to close at last Friday's close. Even better. So awesome stuff, guys. All right. Let me know if y'all need anything. I got y'all. Game plans are set up. Let's bank tomorrow. Let's make our money skedaddle. Get ready for a big week next week. Amazon, don't take your eyes off it. Tesla, don't take your eyes off it. SPY, don't take your eyes off it. Those are the ones I'm going to be eyeing. And if IWM wants to come back up and break to new all-time highs, then I'll slam it again. I've been banking on it all week, and I'll do it again if I have to. I do not care. I posted this to you guys for free above the 267 level. We hit 271, so we're hitting all those levels that I said was the next levels up. So all y'all got to do is pay attention. Even if you're not a Regal Cap member, I'm still giving out alpha. I'm still giving out free stuff, and all you got to do is just pay attention. I don't be tweeting out a million charts. I literally just give y'all the ones that I know are gonna bang. So you don't even have to, sift through my tweets or anything like that. Other than the morning time. The morning time I'm flexing hard. I'm like, we're winning over here. Here's my wins. Here's what I called out. This is what we're doing. We're over here with it. Bang, bang, bang. But like this time, I'm posting. This time of the night, I'm posting. Watch lists. I'm posting. Any type of charting. And that's all you got to pay attention to. Just having that chart and having it ready to go. Because I'm not just giving you something that oh, this looks good above this level. No, I'm giving you this because I'm going to play it. I'm giving you these levels in these charts because I'm going to go out there and I'm going to bank off it. So you're with me or not. If you're a Real Cap member, of course, you're with me and you're banking with me. If you're not a Real Cap member, then you are missing out, guys. Walt.com/Real Capital. Sign up, become a member, become a top member, guys. If you want live trading, you can only get live trading through top member now. If you want live trading, if you want one-on-one mentorship, if you want everything members get, top member is the role you want. Lock in for a month, 2 months. I'm telling you, change your life, change your mind, change your life, change your actions, change it all. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a good year. So if you want to learn more about Regal Cap, regalcap.com, a lot of information on there if you want to read a little bit more about Real Cap and things like that, our mission and, how we do things over here. So, anyways, looks good. I'm ready to bank on this. Amazon's my number one tomorrow. Gap fill. I love a gap fill. It's been showing some strength. I love gap fills. Let this magnet ride up. And it's a mean move. It's a good $3 move on some lottos. It's gonna bang. And SPY's showing some strength too. Let's just see what happens. Say some of these kind of just stay in range, SPY, Q stay in range, and Amazon pushes, then even better. And then IWM, you never know what's IWM gonna happen. It does have some of that gap from overnight still open from 688, just pretty much back into this demand. It would be doing something like that. A lot of support in here, so we'll see kind of what happens if it kind of pushes out or just kind of stays. We'll see. Regardless, a lot of these are going to be flagging into next week, and so again, Monday's looking great, and so we've been banging, and that's the thing. A lot of these plays that I've taken and called out this week for members, like AMD, when we caught this yesterday from 236 all the way up to 251. Again, our contracts that we're in went over $700 a contract added after my entry, right? We got them like $200 a contract, $300, and they went to 600, 700, 800 a contract. Absolutely insane. And I was watching it pushing up. I was just like, guys, more can work. Oh my God. I sold my runner, right when we hit that 245, and then it pushed to 249, 250. I was like, we're already hitting that. And I was like, yeah, we should run to the next supply zone up. Notice how we got the supply and just kind of been fighting it. So, be on the right side of your trades and, understand, where the sellers are at, red, buyers, green, and be on the right side of those winning trades. It all starts with, the Regal Cap zones. And, that's where it is. So if you want to learn how to find the Regal Cap zones, you can sign up for a one-on-one mentor session with me, WAP.com/Regal Capital. I'm going to be locked indoors this weekend. It's going to be freezing. It's going to be cold. I got goals. We got goals this year. And I don't mind. I'm going to be in front of my setup. So why not be on a one-on-one mentor session with me? Why not learn? Why not, ask any questions you want to know? Why not, ask me and lock into how I catch, plays exactly like this, like Tesla today, how we're catching, the banger moves, how we're catching the AMDs, blasting out. How are we catching, the IWMs? It's just that's what we're looking for here. It's all we're looking for. How are we catching these? How are we catching these? Well, we do it all the time. and it's a little bit more complicated than I can tell you right here in like 1 minute, but I promise you, I can show you, and as long as you lock in with that, your trading will change. The goggles come off, and you can start seeing the matrix, and things are a lot easier trading than a lot of people make it out to be. It's a lot easier. It's not as complicated um, than it needs to be, right? Stick to, your watch list, a few good symbols, chart them perfectly, wait for them setups, use those trend lines, things like that, and then wait for the explosion, right? Wait for the explosion. Yesterday on those QQ calls, I think a lot of members are probably like, what are you thinking about these calls? And I was like, stay patient. It's going to work as a swing. We got that knifing down. Everyone's probably starting to panic. I told you guys from 611 down here, 611 to 606, we have a lot of support. Notice where we got down from Tuesday or from Friday into Tuesday, right? We got down into this area, and I told this to the team. We have so much support here. Last time we were here, we blasted out of this and ran to highs, monthly highs. Just just wait, right? Let's see if we break under 606.49. They tried to fake it yesterday. They shot it up. We were playing calls all week, just blasting. Anyways, contracts down here on QQ, our contracts went from $40 to over 350. Um, you could have made thousands of dollars. One of my members made like 1,500 on these candles right here with the Qs, and he was just like, I can't believe I made that money on that. 1,500, and you're like 1,500 in one day. That's a yearly membership for Regal Capital. If you could easily just put a price on learning some of this information, right? You probably couldn't put a price on it because it's so priceless right here. And if you could put a price on it, it would be worth so much money, because if I learned this year 2, year 3 of me trading, I know I would pay $1,000, $2,000, because I know I'm about to run this up 10K, 30K, 50K. I did it. I ran it up 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K without knowing what I know right now back then. So if you could just lock in and, you'll make that money, lock in, sign up for the yearly membership, and don't even worry about, fees or anything after that. Lock in with the team, show up every day with me. I promise you, one of these days out the year, in 1 year, one of those days will be your luckiest break if you haven't got it, and you will hit a trade that changes your life and the momentum of your life. I'm talking out of experience, because that happened to me. That happened to me multiple times. And before that even happened, I kept telling myself, it will happen. That will happen, because I'm seeing it every day. I'm seeing these moves. I just have to be in the right move at the right time. Well, how do you do that? Well, it comes with a little bit of experience. I realized that. And I had to really dig deep with my charting. And then from there, that's where I start positioning myself in these plays. And one of the first ones that ever did change everything for me was Amazon. Ride it open, slam calls, and rocketed before the split when it was like 5K a share. 2 contracts, ran it up. I made 12, 15K overnight. In that day, I could have sold and made that money, but I was like, I'm swinging this for my target. It was a Monday. I'm like, who am I selling Monday contracts, weeklies on a Monday? Who am I? It gapped up higher the next day into Tuesday at my target. And I was like, holy shit. Like, it was one of those where it went perfectly. It went perfectly. It made, 12, 13, 15K off 2 contracts. And from there, I was like, oh shit, like, I'm on, like, this is it now. I'm about to run it up. From there, it was crazy the way I ran it up. It was like I saw the Matrix. It was crazy. So pretty cool stuff there, guys. Pretty cool. Love sharing my experiences. Love being able to kind of stream for you guys, give back, talk to you guys, give, advice, free stuff, levels, stuff like that. So, I hopefully you guys tuning in. Hopefully y'all are realizing at this point, like, this guy's serious. He's not just talking bullshit. This guy's really saying, hey, above here, we're slamming calls, and then they're banking on it. Hey, below this is probably what's going to happen. Don't be scared around this levels. Look for this, look for that. Beautiful. I think a lot of people right now are, getting bearish, or maybe they're questioning this move up right now. Guys, don't question this. Even if we fall back down in the range, unless SPY gets back under 680, which we're at 689 right now, this is still very bullish. We're literally under all-time highs. Literally under, all-time highs right there. We would be streaming Friday, possibly. What, streaming for live trading stream? If you want live trading streaming, consider signing up. Right now, the only way you can get access to that is through top member role. So I stream every week, Monday through Wednesday, sometimes Fridays. And so we'll see tomorrow. We'll see. I might for members tomorrow, but it all depends kind of how I'm feeling a little bit. It is a little bit like strenuous. Like I'm talking for like hours, like the first 2.5 hours. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I love the hype, and I love my members. I love y'all showing up. I love my core group that shows up for that as well. But yeah, it is tiring. I be getting tired. I'm not invincible. I be getting tired. I be having to take naps after the market because mentally this shit is draining. I know y'all know. Anyone that I know, y'all are all traders. If all y'all watching this right now, 160, 170 of y'all, all y'all are traders, and y'all get it. Some days, yes, this is definitely exhausting, mentally exhausting. And it gets on me some days. So got to make sure you nap. I don't care what they say. Naps are superior, super, super elite. So, yeah. But one of these days, probably soon though, I will be streaming live the Open. So on YouTube, I'll stream on Twitter, just like I'm doing right now. I'll stream the Open, and hopefully y'all show up, and we'll bank together. Just show y'all how I do things. I'm the king of the Open. I'm first out the gate. I don't see nobody on the timeline coming out and banking like I'm banking. If we're not banking on a swing, then I'm slamming calls that Open first 15 minutes. If I'm not in the play in the first 30 minutes, then there's not a play to be taken, right? And that's kind of my motto. Like, I like getting done early, making our money. Whole team was green. And so I was just like, there you go. Beautiful. Whole team was green this morning. We just sat back, did less. And one of the other plays that, I was really waiting for Amazon. It came really close, but at the same time, when Amazon was happening, Tesla ended up rocking. We ended up banking off that. So, pretty good stuff right there. Pretty good stuff. Pretty cool stuff. My boy texted me right now. He was like, I don't know how correct this is, but this was my 2025 percentage return. Bro, casually doing 723,000%. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. I would say that's correct. He's somebody that's been locked in with me. He shows up to my lives all the time. He's live trading with me, bro. That's my brother. That's somebody I know in person. I've known for years. Went to high school with. After high school, we hung out all the time. He threw parties. We hung out, partied all the time. And he's locked in on the trading. So, he's somebody if RealCap members, y'all watching, he's somebody in the members gains posting his 100 to 200 to 300% SpyX snipes. He's killing that at the close too. He's killing that. So, amazing, right? Amazing. Love that, bro. Killed it. What an awesome year for you. 2026 gonna be amazing as well. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. I love that. Love that. Love that. See, when I see stuff like that, a lot of people, when they see stuff like that, they might be like, they're like, man, maybe that's impossible. Maybe no way, not me. I see that, I get motivated. I see that, I'm like, yes. I see that, and I'm like, dude, I want to see more. I want to see that. I want to see, like, I'm not going to take away from, him killing it. Right? I'm not going to take away and be like, oh, well, let's see you do 800,000% this year. Nah, come on, man. Every year's different. That was a good year, right? This year, it might be just as good. Might be a little less. It might be, 200, 300%. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We all in this together. I love that. That's motivation for me. I'm running it up. I like that. So shout out to him. Shout out to the Real Cap team. Shout out to you guys as well. So I love that. Get around people, more of the story, get around people that motivate you, that are doing amazing, that are, other aspects. I know he's killing in other aspects of his life too. That's awesome. All my friends killing it like that always. And the ones that are not killing it, they're trying to. I don't know what they're doing. They're still trying to. Can't be giving up on people just because they're still not killing it. But that's somebody that's like, that's like been like me, always been a hustler, always been trying to, always been working, always been doing what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. So that's what I love about Rio Cap too. We elevate each other and bring together and get better, as a community. And that's awesome. So I love to see people win. Love to see people win, and I love to see people, close to me that I know win. I'm always gonna be rooting for them. And any way I can help, please let me know, because I'm here too. I'm here. I'm here. Anything I can do, right? Because I know that if I'm doing my best for people in my life winning, I know that in laws of karma, in laws of nature, I'm also going to be winning in some way, shape, or form. You get around people that are doing great, watch it rub off. I'm telling you, there's no way. I've never seen a group of people all doing great and the one odd person doing terrible. It just never works like that. So, we always share ideas. He always texts me ideas, trade ideas, things like that. I'm always like, hey, I'm looking at this. He's like, hey, I'm looking at that, stuff like that. Um, you know, Again, stuff like, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. And so get around a team, get around people that, help you and, are close to you like that, in that sense where, they reach out and they're like, hey, this is something I'm rolling on. Take a look at it. What do you think? Or, I got an opportunity here, or hey, I'm doing this, or, stuff like that. It's always good. Shout out to my boy Jock. Shout out to Jock. The man says, I love this team. Appreciate it, man. That's another Real Cap member right there. Loving life, man. Loving life. Love you guys. So, all right. We are seeing some green here after hours with Spy QQ. Let's see how much it holds. Amazon, you already know it's my number one pick, and it is pushing a little bit higher than our breakout here, but let's hope they just hold it here and we open up just above the breakout, because any dip is just going to rocket. We're going to get our usual rocket. So I can't take my eyes off this. I can't take my eyes off it. All right, guys. Anyways, appreciate y'all showing up. All game plans are set. For the YouTube people, if you're not on my Twitter, go search up on X Rio Capital on Twitter. That's where I post a lot of my charts and stuff for free. You can get the free stuff, the lotto watch list, stuff like that. So lock in, people, lock in. Let's do it. Anyways, shout out to over 200 of y'all showing up here. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. We had a great week, and it was a short week. That's crazy. That's even crazier that it was a short week. Usually these weeks are really not the best, but I think what made it the best was that gap down. Because say we didn't gap down and we had no reason to go up, and we were just kind of, no real buyer stepping in. We kind of just sideways, or maybe it was slow action. That could have been a real possibility. Will you be live tomorrow? It's possible. We'll see kind of, the setups. I don't expect too much out of tomorrow, to be honest. Like I said, we have earnings next week. So I think tomorrow's going to be a very kind of just slow day. So what we're going to be doing is just kind of looking for that opening play, which is going to likely be Amazon. So hopefully we can bake on Amazon, gap fill, run to 238. We're already at our breakout here after hours here. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And if we can play Spire QQ for that extra gap fill to 692, I wouldn't mind that, but I'm going to be a little bit cautious just because, next week is going to be earnings and stuff. And so the market tends to not like to kind of break weekly highs or tend to not like break out or do anything crazy. Because it needs a catalyst, and those are catalysts, waiting to happen. So keep that in mind for Friday. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Next week, though, I will be live, and I think I'm going to try and do it all week and try and do it free days. I think I'm going to try and do free days for all members. next week as well. So if you're a member, if you're a top member, just be locked in on the live trading. I'm going to make sure maybe all of y'all are in there next week. We had some really good live trading sessions this week. Didn't trade live today, Tuesday and Wednesday. Really good. Today was decent. The opening play with IWM, and then Tesla was midday. I wouldn't have been live for that anyways. That was midday, like end of day kind of thing. So I'm being a little bit more picky, choosy with the plays for now going into Friday, and then we have a fresh week next week. Earnings, things are setting up nicely. So no need to push it tomorrow. We got our wins, protect capital, and let's see if we can get another win in, and then sit back for the bigger plays next week, because we got some really good high conviction plays that I will be posting over the weekend. So make sure you're tuned in with that, and you're checking the channels in Discord. Make sure you have access to all that and all good in there. So I'll be ready for that as well. Let's get it. I'm ready. All right. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. Shout out to 200 and plus of y'all, 210 plus of y'all showing up here. Shout out to the Twitch people. Shout out to YouTube people. Appreciate y'all showing up. Anyways, done for the streaming session here. Let me know if y'all need anything. I got y'all. DM me if y'all need anything. Let's do this. Let's end this week strong. We've had nothing but bangers all week. So let's see if we can get one more banger out the way to end this Friday, and we can bunker in for the weekend if you're somewhere where it's going to be cold. It's because apparently it's going to be really cold. So we'll see. All right. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. Have a good rest of y'all's evening. I'm going to relax and get some rest. So have a good rest of y'all's nights. And